This, my friends, is the playbook.
All right, let's get into the AFC West here. I'm going with Colin last. I'm going to go first. I'm excited to hear about how the Chargers are winning this one. I'm just going to go.
First about 2 years, right?
Yep. Third time's a charm. You sure did. You did.
This is the year.
This is the one. I'm going first to worst. Before we get into today's video, guys, I just want to give a special shout out to today's sponsors, starting with Goldfine and Bowles, Lawyers for the Injured. Personal injury, workers' compensation, those are their two things, but any sort of legal advice, they're the people to call. Give them a phone call, 309-673-5144. Tell them we sent you, okay? And I'd also like to shout out SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video as well. Use promo code PlaybookSports on their website to get $20 off your first purchase of $30 or more. Let's get back to the video. Because it's obviously the Chiefs division and then everybody else. I got Chiefs going 12-5, winning the division, fighting for the 1 seed like they always do. Although maybe they start slow. It's like the Chiefs don't start trying until the weather gets cold. And they're like, all right, let's start playing football like they did last year. I counted them out early in the year, and I was like, that feels like a mistake, but they were bad.
Yeah.
Second place, I've got the Raiders in the second spot at 7-10. Just because of the roster. I think they've got a decent-ish roster. Their defense should be good. Brought in Christian Wilkins, $100 million man somehow. They still have Max Crosby, who's obviously a stud. I don't know how their offense is going to score points because it's Gardner Minshew, but he did okay for the Colts. I don't like Antonio Pierce as a head coach. He's a good players coach. But what does Antonio Pierce do that's going to have you confused on the defense? What can Antonio Pierce bring to the table where it's like this guy is going to put together this game plan for you? It's like, no, he doesn't do that. Mm-hmm. So then you're relying on your coordinators to do everything for you. It's like, are they going to? I don't know. Raiders 7-10. Third place, I got the Chargers going 5-12 because what are they going to do? What have they done this offseason to make you think this is a better football team?
Gus Edwards?
Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. Best of luck to you. Behind an offensive line that has two left tackles. They've got Joe Alt, who's a left tackle, and Rashawn Slater, who's a left tackle. One of them will have to play right tackle for the first time in their career. Have fun figuring that out. I'd hate that. At wide receiver, you're hoping Quentin Johnson isn't garbage like he was last year. You're betting on Ladd McConkey being the next Cooper Kupp, which maybe he can be, who knows. But it's all about, can Justin Herbert completely elevate this roster, and didn't last year. And the defense is not going to be any better. They didn't add anybody on defense that makes you think, oh, that's a good pickup. I don't see anybody. So Chargers 5-12, and then Broncos in last place at 4-13, fighting for the first overall pick. I just don't think they're being good, man. I'm not a Bo Nix guy. Never have been a Bo Nix guy. Never will be. Yeah. And Sean Payton seems like he should have just stayed out of coaching. Truthfully, should have just stayed out, stayed in the booth. You got to mesh with your players. You've got to be approachable, and it doesn't seem like he's approachable. I just don't think the Broncos are going to be any good this year. So that's what I've got. I got Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers, Broncos. Addison, hit me.
All right, well, obviously I'll start at the top as well because I agree. I think it's Chiefs division all the way. I'm going to go 13-4, though.
Okay.
Probably the 1 seed.
Okay, yeah.
I just think offense is going to be extremely explosive. Worthy out there. Rashid Rice ain't getting suspended.
Nope.
Don't care. Defense is going to be elite. Offense is going to be good. Watch out.
Yeah, they're insane.
Second place in this division, I do have the Chargers.
Okay.
And 8-9 though, under 500. So lackluster year, but Harbaugh is going to be able to do enough to get that team better than what they should be because I think they are worse than 8-9 as a football team.
Definitely.
But Harbaugh will be able to do enough to elevate them. Herbert will have to do enough on the field, but I think Harbaugh will be able to coach them up to get them competing 8-9, and I think that's going to be because of Herbert's talent alone to scrape them to just barely below 500. Third place, I got the Broncos 7-10, a little bit higher on Bo Nix than you, but not by much. The only reason though is because Sean Payton loves the underneath short throws, and that's all Bo Nix is good at. So if he can get comfortable in Sean Payton's offense, we'll see. I do think the Broncos are in shambles though. Like you said, Nate, this is just a slap on Payton's legacy, really, if we're being honest. And then fourth place, like you said, what can Antonio Pierce do besides rah-rah the guys?
Yeah.
And how long does rah-rah last? It's not a full season, that's for damn sure. Raiders 6-11, fourth place. Mm-hmm. What's the quarterback situation? Is it Mommy Milkers or is it Gardner Minshew? AOC, of course, Aiden O'Connell. But no, seriously, who's the quarterback? It should be Minshew if they want the best
It should
opportunity
be.
to compete,
They
but
paid him.
who knows? But I got Raiders in 4th place, and I love you, Antonio Pierce, but you're probably gone after this season.
Right, it's like you can only be.
6-11.
It's why Dan Campbell wasn't a head coach for so long because he's a rah-rah guy. He doesn't bring this complicated offense that confuses defense. He doesn't bring this defense that has offenses in shambles. It's like, what do you do?
And
What do you do then?
As much as I love
It's
Dan
like Nick
Campbell,
Sirianni.
and
What
I
do you
think,
do?
No, exactly. I think the Lions are good because of Dan Campbell, but
Mhm.
he was the right timing
Yes,
for this.
it
because
was.
Jared Goff there coming in and
Yep.
revitalized his career. Because what happens if Detroit doesn't have Goff and they have an ass quarterback? Campbell's gone in 3 years because they suck.
Because they're bad.
Yeah.
And rah-rah only lasts so long.
Yes.
But instead they're competing, and now it's, hey, we love it.
Yeah, it's
So,
great. He's a rah-rah
We'll
guy.
see
Don't
when
have
the
to do
Raiders
much.
aren't competing. That motivational speech, man, it doesn't hit that same
No.
same time like the 10th
When you're
time
2-7 and
Yeah.
you're like, come on, fellas, we
Yeah.
gotta believe. It's like, Coach,
all right,
shut
man,
the fuck
I
up.
believe we were 0-0.
I
man.
believe we suck.
It's been 2 months since I cared.
Yep,
Like,
I don't care anymore. I'm out.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams is gonna want out of there. So,
Alright.
Sage, seems like you think differently.
Alright.
Hit us. What do you got coming out of the AFC West?
First place, Chiefs.
Thank you.
I mean, do I have to say much more than that? Not
No.
really.
No.
I mean, they lost a few pieces on defense, but their offense, I think, is more revamped than they've been the past 3 years.
And they won the Super
They've
Bowl.
won the Super Bowl the past 2 years.
Yeah.
So I'm worried about them
As you should be.
every single year, and it's just getting annoying at this point.
Mhm.
They're getting into Patriots territory where I'm just like,
They're there.
anyone but the Chiefs.
Yeah.
They're there.
In second place, I got the rah-rah Raiders.
All right, I had him second.
I got them second place, but I have them potentially 7th seed wild
Oh,
card.
Okay.
I love Antonio Pierce, all right?
Okay.
Sometimes all you need is a rah-rah guy.
That's
First
true.
off, all right? Dan Campbell, rah-rah guy. Look where the lines are right now.
Right.
A lot of people don't remember John Harbaugh was a special teams coach.
Yes, he's the
All
one
he
of
is is a
those.
rah-rah
Yeah,
guy.
he's one of the rare ones that works.
He brings in props to practice
Yeah.
to elevate the guys for some reason, bringing in swords and shit to practice.
So true though.
I mean, sometimes that's what you need because you need someone that can delegate. You
Yes.
know, I mean, they have Patrick Graham coming in to be the defensive coordinator for that team, and he was there last year. He knows the system. He knows the people, and they added Christian Wilkins. I think this defense has the potential to be very similar to the Browns last year and carry as much as they can this offense all the way to potentially that wild card spot.
Interesting.
So I love the Raiders right here.
Interesting. Okay.
I like him. You know,
Okay,
especially
alright.
in 12 personnel. If Zamir White's the guy,
That's true.
they can
He will be.
control everything and then bootleg it off to Mike Mayer and Brock
Brock
Bowers
Bowers.
and
That is
Jacoby
crazy.
Myers and Devontae
They got
Adams.
crazy
They
tight
got
end
some
room.
elite tight ends.
They got crazy tight
Exactly.
end
They
room.
could both be on the line too, being physical.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I'm seeing going
Okay.
down right there.
Okay.
In the third spot, I got the Chargers. I mean, you can't center your whole offense around two guys that perennially tear their ACLs, and Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins, and then hopefully, like, imagine Tom Brady centering his whole offense around Wes Welker for all those years.
Yeah.
That's not how it worked,
No.
you know? So they're expecting that to work in Los Angeles with Lad McConkey, McConkey Kong, as I like to call him.
McConkey Kong. That's great. That's great.
But no, I don't see that happening. I think they're just in a rebuild. They need some wide receivers. They need some defensive talent. I mean, their offensive line is pretty solid, but I don't see them doing too much right now. Just get your feet under your ground, or
Yep.
get feet on the ground, and
It takes time for a new coach to set up their system.
Even
And
if
Harbaugh's
Harbaugh-
clearly a running first coach. He always has been. Even in San Francisco, he
I will
was a
say
running
they
first
have
coach.
Greg Roman, and that shoots
Running.
every little bit of confidence I have in them.
Yeah, and what did Greg Roman love to do? Just run the ball. We don't need stars. We're just going to run the ball all the time. It's like, okay, so...
I mean, when he was the offensive coordinator for the Ravens, the defense was calling out our plays before we ran them.
Yeah, that's.
And Lamar's like,
That's terrible.
Coach, what the
Coach,
hell?
please.
So-
Give me something new.
I see Herbert getting very frustrated.
Yeah.
Greg Roman might not last
He
long.
shouldn't.
No,
I don't know
seriously.
how he got the job.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
And then the Broncos.
Yeah.
I do have a little more faith in Bo Nix than
Okay.
the consensus.
Okay.
I think he's the 5th best quarterback in the first round this year, not the
Okay,
6th.
wow, solid. Yeah, impressive.
I think Drake May might be the last.
Drake May might be worse.
Drake
That'd
May
actually
might-
make me really happy.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that too.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
But yeah, I don't have faith in the Broncos. I mean, was getting Adam Troutman really the priority in the offseason?
Trading
Yes.
away Jerry Judy, getting a 5th round pick in return for that. Like, that's crazy.
I mean, they're throwing it to Cortland Sutton and Marvin Mims. And
Troy Franklin.
Troy Franklin, who is a 4th round. Everyone wants to be their guy, but
Yeah,
he's a 4th rounder.
he's a
for
4th
reason.
rounder. He fell
You
big
know?
time.
So I got Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers, Broncos.
Okay, I like it.
Colin.
Coming to you, the AFC West guy. You've always got your thumb right on the pulse of this division.
I know what I'm talking
You
about.
know
When it comes to AFC West
AFC
football.
West guru. What do you got for us?
Going top down, who's got it better than we do? I'm kidding. We're going Kansas City. I mean,
Thank you.
this is the one.
You finally
clear-cut
did it,
here.
America, for the first time in 3 years.
It's Kansas City
Come
because
on.
until they don't do it, it's got to be Kansas City. I've came around on the Chiefs,
Yes.
and just because the Chargers at this point, kind of uncertainty with Herbert already in the
Already
walking boot.
injured.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's a big time fleece in the Dynasty League, by
Yeah.
the way.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But I have the Chiefs 13-4, much like you, Addison. I think there's maybe a handful of games that they're in question if they win or not, and they're going to win at least a couple of those in question games.
Yes.
Chargers, I originally wrote down 9-8, but that was before kind of seeing Herbert in the walking boot and everything. I'm kind of leaning more of the 8-9,
Okay.
7-10 range now.
He
Reasonable.
should be back pretty soon. It's plantar fascia.
Yeah, plantar fascia.
Yeah.
But where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah,
He-
he's already hurt.
and if they
And
start
that's a
slow,
non-contact injury too. That's something that you hurt
Yeah.
not playing football, like just walking around.
Dude just playing pickleball too.
Yeah, he's doing off-season stuff and he hurt himself. Like that's not a great look.
kind of questions there. And then you guys mentioned it, just first year with Harbaugh, kind of got to get his feet wet,
Right,
get
gotta
in
get
there. Raiders, I have in third at 6-11. I think they're going to be frisky enough to get 6.
Yeah.
Once again, I just don't think they have that power to get much more than that. And Broncos, the real horses,
The real.
5-12, not great. Bo Nix, if you're the guy, you're not the guy for me.
Not
I
the
can't
guy.
believe I haven't
So I
seen
have them
that.
going last.
Yeah, I can't
We
believe it.
bleed blue.
Or the shoe, or whatever he
That
said.
guy's a legend.
I have to watch that all the way through. I haven't yet.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
the
I
nay
have
at the
to.
end gets
Yeah, I'm
you.
gonna have to watch that. All right, so.
But yeah, Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, Broncos.
I mean, it's the Chiefs by a handful of games in this
Oh,
division, in my opinion. 3 games minimum winning this division.
Probably 5.
Yeah, I've got them winning it by 5.
They might have it clinched by Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they may be resting too.
Could you imagine if it's like 3 weeks ago and they're clinched?
They
There's no
probably will
play
be.
starters.
Yeah, whatever. And they'll want the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so
Although they don't need it.
they don't need it. No, they clearly. I mean, they went into Buffalo and into Baltimore last year and didn't have a whole lot of
Take
issues.
a month off before.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
relax, rest. Everybody rest. Doesn't matter. We'll be fine when it comes down to it. I'm getting sick of them. I'm getting sick of the Chiefs, guys.
Just now getting sick of him.
Bear's gonna have Mahomes, so he's a bear.
He's.
That's my logic.
He's a bear.
And will be a bear.
Oh yeah, 100%.
my God.
100%. Shout out Patrick Mahomes.
All right.